myself. Well, my name is Jessica. I was named after Jessica Rabbit. My dad really liked that movie. Grew up in Albany with my mom, my dad, and my sister.
My mother and father, Yvonne and Emil Garbawi, immigrated from Egypt. Mama came from Mansoura, okay, the land of beautiful women. And Baba came from Cairo, the land of Molotov cocktails and rebellion.
I was in Albany from wee little girl to after I had graduated pharmacy school. So most of my life, yeah.
So they gave birth to me, their pride and joy. 1984, it was January. I'd like to say it was one of the best months and years of all time. And then later they had a girl.
You know, good old Gilderland, land of the Dutch. Turned little west side of Albany. Tough life.
You know, I grew up in LA. I was actually born in a place called Compton. Yeah, I grew up in LA. We moved up to the San Fernando Valley.
It's a rare condition this day and age to read any good news on the newspaper page. And love and tradition of the grand design, some people say, is even harder to find. It's the bigger love of the family.
Yvonne, who burned the rug?
I don't know, ask Daddy!
Oops, did I do that?
Lived there until I was about 20 years old and then moved down to San Diego. Went to school in San Diego and then decided to become a pharmacist and moved out to Albany.
My parents were like, go to pharmacy school! So I went to pharmacy school, you know, Baba's a pharmacist and tons of pharmacists and everyone's a pharmacist, so pharmacy school it was. And then Daniel came.
I remember that moment that I met Jessica very well.
I think the first time I met Daniel was in the church parking lot when the Albany church got a new priest.
It had been just a really hot day. It was like 150 degrees, 150% humidity. It was just absolutely terrible. I walked outside because I wanted a nice little breeze, and I look up and there's this gorgeous girl getting out of a car, and it was like one of those scenes out of the movies where everything slows down, you know, there's music playing in the background, and I absolutely need to know who she was. Hi, I'm Daniel.
Hey, what's up? I'm Jess.
That was the first time I saw her, so I decided to get to know her. And at the time, she didn't want to give me the time of day.
Our first date was, well, I think it was in Albany. Daniel thinks it was in Vegas.
First date was very obviously Las Vegas. We were at a pharmacy conference, and I was there interviewing for a faculty position, and she was there looking to get into a residency in the first place.
And so since we ended up finishing towards the end of the conference time, we were like, well, let's go out and celebrate with a bite to eat. So I was like, sure, why not? Cool, let's do it.
And ever since that day, I mean, like good old Coptic status, we text messaged and kept it a secret for quite some time.
So I was applying for residencies, and Daniel had just been through the process, so he was helping me apply, giving me little pointers and tips on fixing up my CV and interviewing.
Yeah, she needed the help, you know. She really didn't know what she was getting herself into, and I was the man to get her the job.
Oh, my love, my darling, I've hungered for your touch a long, lonely time. And time goes by so slowly.
Excellent timing for him. Very convenient. Rabbina behabbaho.
It's perfect time for her, you know. Rabbina bithabba, bihabba, bithabba. You get it.
We were texting and calling each other, and he was really helpful, and so he was a great resource to have around at that time. Now, when the first date in my eyes was when Daniel surprised me. He flew into Albany.
I wanted to make something special happen, so I asked her friend to help me plan a surprise, I guess, first date in that case.
We went on our date, we went salsa dancing. He knew that I've always wanted to go salsa dancing. I love Spanish music and the language and the culture and everything. The dance studio was closed. It was a Saturday, so they closed all day Saturday. So he went and had asked them ahead of time if they could remain open for an hour for us so we could get a private salsa dancing lesson.
And then I took her to a comedy show on Valentine's comedy show.
After the comedy show, that was pretty much the end of the night. We had walked out, and this is February in Albany, New York, and so it's cold, but we walked outside, and it wasn't too cold. It was the perfect amount of cold, and it started flurrying. I love snow, so I'm like, oh my god, it's a sign, it's perfect, it's beautiful. I was on cloud nine. At that point, we started holding hands. I was like, I think there's something there. Long distance relationships suck, especially when you're in different time zones. So lots of texting, lots of phone calls, lots of emails.
You sit on your phone nonstop, texting, just texting all day, all night. Oh. What a dork. Oh!
I'm walking here!
First time I realized I was in love was the first moment I saw Jessica. I know that sounds cheesy, but it's true. I really did have feelings for her right out of that moment.
When did I realize I was in love?
Here, get you some ice cream.
For me? Pumpkin.
It's just hugging us. Jessica is my polar opposite in a lot of ways. She's organized, she's stylish, she's smart. A lot of things that I'm not really good at. She kind of completes the parts of me that are fairly lacking.
He's one of the sweetest, most genuine people I've ever met in my life. Really does want the absolute best for everyone and will go to extreme lengths to make sure that everyone's happy and having a good time and pleased and whatnot, and regardless of how much work it takes on his end. And so I really admire that about him.
In a lot of ways, the things that I've gotten to know about Jessica are the things that I've really not really known well about myself.
And he makes me laugh, so that's always a plus. He's very genuine and sweet and romantic.
She protects me from myself when I can't complete things, when I can't get things done, when I freak out. There's only one person in the world who can keep me sane,